What is up, you guys, and welcome to the beginning of our connected franchise or career mode in Madden 17 this year. And I am super excited to start this thing up because you guys all remember last year in Madden 16, I had an absolute blast doing it. Creating your own character is just so much fun, trying to make an impact at that single position that you create your player for, trying to win games for the team you play for, you know, upgrading his stats week in and week out, also getting the season goals. I just find it very fun to do this, and we're going to be kicking it right back off by creating another new character in Madden 17. So, all of you guys remember from last year, we created a defensive player, a free safety, and this year I'm deciding we're going to jump on the other side of the ball and play for the offense. Now, before we figure out what exact position, we got to figure out which team we're going to play for. And the way that I decided this was I just went to a regular play now game and I hit the random team button for like a solid 30 seconds. And as you're already figuring it out, it landed on the Los Angeles Rams. We're going to be playing for the Rams, their first year back in LA. And I think that's going to be pretty cool and a lot of fun. Now, of course, I'm not going to play for my Ravens because that's the whole point of Connected Franchise. It's just your chance to play for a different team and change things up, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun playing for the Rams this year in this connected franchise that we have. Now, for the position, we are going to be a wide receiver. Now, as for, you know, what exact type of wide receiver, this took me like a really long time to figure out. I just flat out could not decide on this, whether to be a red zone threat or just a speedy guy. It took me a really long time to settle on this, and I finally decided to go with being a speedy wide receiver, and also wanted to be an undrafted player to see what that's like. But here is the Los Angeles Rams new wide receiver.
Your season starts now.
So for our first episode of my career, basically we're just going to, just do the little stuff. We'll look at the stats, maybe upgrade our player a little bit. We'll look at the Rams roster, see where we're at on the depth chart, do a few practices, but more importantly, we are going to go through the entire preseason in this first episode. Now, of course, I am not going to go through and show every single play from all four of those games because that would just take a really long time. I will show you guys a couple of the highlights from each of the four, but I mean, it's only the preseason, so like you guys aren't going to miss that much if we just breeze through it. The only reason we're doing the preseason is simply for XP and trying to get a higher roster spot on the team. So looking at your starters for the Rams, of course at quarterback we have the #1 overall pick, Jared Goff, starting for us. At running back we have the beast that is Todd Gurley, and for the position that matters for us, wide receiver, in the depth chart we are at number 4 behind Kenny Britt, Tavon Austin, and Brian Quick. Now, something I really wish that Madden would incorporate into Connected Franchise for at least when you create a player is you get put into the depth chart according to how well you actually perform in the preseason. Currently, it just goes for overall. So, like, if we were an 82 overall right out of the gate, like, instantly, we will be the #1 wide receiver for this team with no questions asked. Like, even at 66 overall, if we had more yards, more catches, more touchdowns, all that good stuff, below all these other guys, we still would only be put at number 4, which I kind of find stupid, and I wish it would put you according to how well you play.
All right, man. Every day is an opportunity to get better. We got to get better today. What I want to know is who's excited to work. I'm ready to work today. Are you ready to work? Let's go out here, let's show them what we're about, and let's get this done. Here we go now.
Something I do know that you guys are seeing is also new in this year's game are the practices that we do weekly. So it's no longer going in and you're doing the same exact drill every single week. It's basically assigned whatever the game puts you to do, and whatever drill that is, you go into the week, you complete it, you get your medal, of course, as well as the XP. And we have these cool little cutscenes that we got now where the coaches are talking to the players. I know it's not really that big of a difference and doesn't really affect the game at all, but it is kind of cool to see those little cutscenes with your players.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Preseason, a critical time of year for some positions much more than others. For wide receivers like this guy, for instance, so important to establish that timing and understanding you need to have with your quarterback before the season starts. It's the Cowboys going up against the Rams. With kickoff straight ahead, let's check in with the two men who'll be calling tonight's game as we say hello to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, we haven't had NFL football in this city for 22 years, but football is back here in Los Angeles. Tonight, we kick off the preseason with a good matchup right away between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. Hello, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and partner, our long national nightmare is over. After 6 months away,
our first preseason game of the year, and did you see me in warm-ups doing those one-handed catches like I'm Odell Beckham or something? That was definitely pretty cool to see. I hope we can do that in game at some point, but our new little overlay that we have when we're not actually in game, you see our player on the left-hand side with our stats. Our goals that we're trying to get weekly was also over there, and like I said, when we're not in game and we're waiting to see what the other team's going to do, we've got this new little overlay, like where we're above the field. We've got this giant TV screen on the field to see what's going on with all of the players' faces, waiting for us to get into the game. And because it is preseason, we're not a starting receiver. We're not going to start in the first quarter. And we're starting at the second quarter. So the very first offensive play in the second quarter is when we finally jump in. And the first play that we're in is an interception. Like, didn't I play defense last year? And before I even get myself an NFL catch, I'm getting a tackle. That was kind of weird to see that I'm actually getting that before I get my first catch in the NFL. Later on in the second quarter, our first ever catch in the NFL, and it also ends up going for our first ever touchdown. And this is the exact reason why I wanted to create a speed wide receiver. Here's your example right here yet again, because as soon as the ball is snapped, we just use nothing but our speed to burn the corner that's defending us and just get past him with ease. You're seeing it right here again. Just push off of him with one arm, and then it's nothing but our speed from there on out to just run down the field, catch the pass, and easily run into the end zone for a touchdown. There was our second in this game. Later on in the fourth quarter, another lob up to the end zone, and still, even being just a speed wide receiver, we can still go up and catch the ball. We fall into the end zone, and in our first ever preseason game, we are coming out with 3 touchdown catches in our debut. I mean, just what a way for us to come out in our first ever game. 5 total receptions for 173 yards, 3 of which for the touchdowns that you guys all saw. And then after that, we have this nice little feedback menu to show us all of the XP that we earned for all of the different stuff we did in game once we're finished, which is, a kind of cool little analysis that we have. But as I said earlier on in the episode, man, are those other 3 receivers that are ranked ahead of us in the depth chart really going to put up those kind of numbers in not only the preseason, but once we get to the regular season? I don't know. I still really feel like this game should rank you in the depth chart for the position that you're playing for, just of how you actually perform and not just for overall, which is still, you can't really change it. You just have to deal with it. Now, in our second preseason game in the second quarter, we came out here, and it looks like we might have earned ourselves the starting role for punt returner at least. We're coming out here, a 95-yard touchdown return on a punt. Again, if that happened in real life, you would just instantly be promoted. Okay, I wouldn't say instantly, but that would give you high hopes to be the starting punt returner for your team. Towards the end of the fourth quarter here, under the 2-minute warning, again, we just use our speed to burn past the corner that's defending us. It is an easy touchdown almost every single time. And it's looking like we are going to be coming out here and just be such a lethal weapon to use on the offense with the speed that we have, because it's just, we only run streak routes, and every single time that we do, it turns out to be a touchdown. Now, hopefully, we don't just turn out to be that guy that just, runs straight routes down the field and we get touchdowns that way. I want to be still a reliable receiver where we can run any other route, still pick up catches, and maybe do a little work after the catch and still be able to actually put up some stats. Here in our third preseason game, we're playing the Denver Broncos. End of the second quarter. Again, I mean, it's just, that's pretty much all we did for the first few games of the preseason. It was just run a streak route, beat the defender, catch the ball, and use your speed to get a touchdown. And it just consistently worked over and over again. There is our 5th touchdown in the preseason. In 3 games, you get 5 touchdowns. I mean, what else do we need to do? I guess, you know, just do another one. End of the game now in the 4th quarter. Our 6th touchdown pass in the preseason. That is 3 games, 6 touchdowns, and yet we're still going to be ranked number 4 in the depth chart behind all these other receivers, which still just does not really make a whole lot of sense to me. We ended off that game against the Denver Broncos with 5 catches for 185 yards, even a better game than we had in our first game. And look, just to prove to you guys, I am playing on all Madden. So no, I'm not playing on rookie or pro or whatever, and I'm just burning past these guys. We're just so good playing on all Madden, burning all these cornerbacks and just getting touchdowns easily left and right. Finally, we have our last preseason game of the year, which I'm not going to show you guys any of it because you saw all of the highlights of my first games. Plus, in this last one against the Minnesota Vikings, I didn't get any touchdown receptions, so you're not going to miss a whole lot. All I really did was just have a couple of catches, which went for a decent amount of yards, but nothing too crazy where it's like, I have to show you guys this because, again, it's only preseason. You aren't going to miss that much. All of the work that we're going to do will come from the regular season. Now, after all of those games that we played in, I tried using all of that XP to upgrade a bunch of stats to hopefully boost our overall. That would put us a higher role in the depth chart because still, as you guys know, it only goes for overall even though we just balled out in the preseason. So basically, I just went and upgraded a bunch of the stats that were in like the 60 overalls. Plus, I went for the stats that were also like 1,000 XP or lower because some of these other stats cost, like, you can see 8,000, 12,000. It's crazy. So I just tried to sprawl it all out through all of my stats for the stuff that was under 1,000 to hopefully boost my overall. You're seeing it at the top right. We went from a 66 to only a 68 overall. And you're noticing we're now the 5th string wide receiver on this team. That is because the Rams ended up signing another wide receiver who's a higher overall than us. So we're now down to the number 5 position. So that is going to close out our first episode of my career in Madden 17 so far this year. I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series, but for right now, I just need your guys' opinion on what you think I should do. Because if we don't put on instant starter, we're probably not going to be playing very much in any of our games considering we're the number 5 receiver. So if you want me to put on instant starter and we'll become the number 1 guy on this team, let me know in the comments. It's all up to you guys. It's really basically how you want me to play for this team because it's either you want me to see me start or you want me to just try and be the number 5 receiver and work our way up. Anyways, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I'm excited to do this series with you guys this year, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.